Welcome to the ultimate episode of Muscles and Magic the Gathering. First things first, I'm Bobby Maximus. I am the Muscles All, 6'3", 235 pounds of me. And these cards, Magic the Gathering, something that's been a passion of mine for 31 years. I started in Unlimited, and I have a massive collection. And pardon my excitement, I am through the moon right now. My head is about to explode. This is my favorite deck of all time. This is my signature deck. This is my bling deck. And this, by the way, this is my most powerful deck. And today, normally I do a big long intro. We're going to get right down to business. I want to talk about Urza, Lord High Artificer, one of the OG kill-on-sight commanders, one of the greatest commanders of all time, in my opinion. So let's look at Urza, and let's look at this deck. When Urza, Lord High Artificer, now first of all, it costs 4 mana, 2 colorless, 2 blue. When Urza, Lord High Artificer enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with. This creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. That's a massive ability. And if we can find some way to blink this back and forth, we're going to flood the battlefield with these tokens. And we're just going to run over our opponents because we get a lot of artifacts. The second ability, and arguably the best one, tap an untapped artifact you control, add a blue mana. Ramp City. There's a lot of 0-drop artifacts in this deck. We are going to show you some combos and create some unlimited mana. And what are we going to do with all that mana? You pay 5. You can do this as many times as you want. This is the killer thing with this card. Shuffle your library, then exile the top card. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. You can pretty much draw through your entire deck. All right? That is Urza, Lord High Artificer. So if you're here to see fancy, rare, expensive cards, if you're here to see one of the most blinged out decks you've ever seen, if you're here to learn how to build a better artifact deck or to build Urza itself, you are in the right place. Get ready, get your popcorn ready, and hang on to your hats because this is going to be the best episode of this you have ever seen. We have Tezzeret the Seeker. This is our Planeswalker in the deck. We only have one Planeswalker in this deck, but spoiler alert, at the end of this video, we might do some live deck text, so stay tuned. There is a Planeswalker I kind of want to add, all right? Tezzeret the Seeker, the +1 ability, untap up to 2 target artifacts. The -X ability, search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less and put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. The -5 ability, artifacts you control become artifact creatures with base power and toughness 5/5 until the end of turn. Great abilities for any artifact deck. In my opinion, now this card goes for $17. This is one of the best artifact planeswalkers of all time. Now for our creatures. Displacer Kitten. Remember we talked about blinking Urza back and forth to the battlefield? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, and there's a lot of these in this deck, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. With Urza, that is a game ender. It's an awesome, awesome card. Because again, we're going to create a lot of those 0/0 construct artifact creature tokens that all get +1/+1 for all the artifacts. The Walking Ballista, one of the best artifacts of all time. Walking Ballista enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. You pay 4, put a 1/1 counter on Walking Ballista. Remove a 1/1 counter from Walking Ballista. Deals 1 damage to target creature or player. The Painter's Servant. What's Painter's Servant doing in here? You know. Now, normally, if you're used to my videos, I go through all the creatures first. But I got to highlight this combo. And I got to talk a little bit about my favorite set of all time. And this card, Painter's Servant, goes beautifully with something called the Grindstone. All right, Painter's Servant comes into play. You choose a color. All cards that aren't in play, spells, and permanents that are the chosen color in addition to their other colors. Grindstone says target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into her graveyard, his or her graveyard. If both cards share a color, repeat this process. You can mill through somebody's entire deck with this combo right here. Painter's Servant's not a cheap card. It's up past $60. And then Grindstone. Why is Painter's Servant really in here? Well, I like alternate win conditions, all right? I like to build decks with multiple ways to come at you, and I like winning in different ways. But also, Kaladesh is one of my favorite sets of all time. My son, who's 16 now, we started collecting Magic together when he was, he was 5 years old. Kaladesh was like the first set that we really invested in. And we bought not packs, not boxes, cases. I have a lot of these inventions, and so this is one of my showcase collectible decks as well. So we're going to put Grindstone away, and we're going to get back to the creatures. We have Hull Breacher. Don't at me about the ban list. The ban list is nonsense. It's hypocritical. It makes no sense in addition to being nonsense, and it targets a certain segment of player in the Magic the Gathering community. People are really salty that other people have good cards and they want them banned. But I don't buy into the ban list. Orbistic Study's better than Hull Breacher. Facts. A Smothering Tithe, you can make an argument, is more oppressive or whatever than a Dockside Extortionist. Speaking of Dockside, what do you think's worse? Blinking back and forth at Dockside or that just degenerate combo of BB and Agatha's Soul Cauldron? By the way, Soul Ring is better than a Mana Crypt. So get out of here with your banned list nonsense. Free the Hull Breacher, free my Dockside, free my Jeweled Lotus. Here we go. We play with banned cards here. It has no power at my table or in my pot. Flash. If an opponent would draw a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, instead you create a treasure token. Snapcaster Mage. We have all kinds of incredible instants and sorceries in this deck. We want them to have flashback. You'll see this soon. The Cyberdrive Awakener. Flying. Other artifact creatures you control have flying. And when Cyberdrive Awakener enters the battlefield until the end of turn, each non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base and power toughness 4/4. Phyrexian Metamorph. Insane card. You may have Phyrexian Metamorph enter as a copy of any artifact or creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. The Hull Breaker Horror. Insane card. Flash. This spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Now, what are we going to do with that? Well, if you pair the Hull Breaker Horror with, look at this gorgeous Soul Ring. That is the most beautiful Soul Ring you've ever seen. And by the way, this deck is a money deck. This is blinged out if there's ever been a blinged out deck. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars. But if you pair those with, and I'm looking for the perfect one, a 0-drop artifact like the Lotus Petal, you create a combo that gives you unlimited mana. And what can you do with unlimited mana? You can use Urza, you can draw through your entire deck. So we got some 0-drop artifacts, and we have the Hull Breaker Horror. Big casting cost creature, but one that's a total game changer. Not on the game changers list, but this is a game-changing card. Your life total can't change. Platinum Angel, another one that has saved me more times than I can count. Flying, you can't lose a game, your opponents can't win the game. The Hangerback Walker. Now, normally this card might not make the cut. There might be some better cards we can put in here, but it's an invention. They're my favorite cards of all time. It came in, and it turns out it actually is pretty useful. Maybe I'm being a little hard on the Hangerback Walker, but it enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. When Hangerback Walker dies, create a 1/1 colorless Scepter artifact creature token with flying for each 1/1 counter on Hangerback Walker, and then you can put counters on it. Steel Overseer. I have a lot of inventions, by the way. Put a 1/1 counter on each artifact creature you control. The Metalworker. Probably haven't seen this card. It is insane. Reveal any number of artifact cards in your hand. Add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool for each card revealed this way. Gilded Drake. When Gilded Drake comes into play, exchange control of Gilded Drake for target creature one of your opponent's controls, or sacrifice Gilded Drake. I'm just going to steal your commander. Trinket Mage. When Trinket Mage enters the battlefield, you can search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost 1 or less. We get a lot of those. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. The Master Transmuter. Now, what's that doing in here? Well, we have a special friend for the Master Transmuter. Return an artifact card you control to its owner's hand. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Let's just on turn 2 or 3 or 4 cheat out the baddest creature in Magic the Gathering history, the Blightsteel Colossus. Trample, Infect, Indestructible, and it can't go in the graveyard. It goes right back in your library. The Arcbound Ravager. Sacrifice an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, modular 1. We have the Spellskite. Great card. If you play competitive Magic, you know it. Change a target of target spell or ability to Spellskite. Foundry Inspector. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. The Phantasmal Image. You may have Phantasmal Image enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it's an illusion. And when this creature becomes a target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Sakashima. You may have Sakashima enter the battlefield of a copy of another creature you control, except it has Sakashima of 1,000 faces other abilities. And the legend rule doesn't apply. Let's just copy Urza. Why not? And then we have the Giant of Babel. Beautiful card from Final Fantasy. Trample. And the Giant of Babel enters tapped and doesn't untap during your untap step, but we can untap it as much as we want with Urza. And whenever you cast a historic spell, untap it, and it is a 7/7. So the Scourge of Krug. Now let's get back to the artifacts, and I already showed you, let's just show it again, the beautiful Soul Ring, the Grindstone, the Lotus Petal. Of course, we have the One Ring, one of the greatest cards in Magic the Gathering history, and card draw in a commander deck is everything. You want to win, you need card draw, mana ramp, and tutors. And this card has everything in this deck that relates to that. There's a ton of card draw. There's 8 tutor cards. By the way, there are literally 14 game changers in this deck. We have, from the 30th anniversary, controversy alert. I love the 30th anniversary set. I bought packs. I use them in my decks. If Magic prints it, I play it. I'm sorry that makes you sad. I'm sorry you didn't like the price tag. I'm sorry you hate everything Wizards does. I love 30th anniversary, and the Time Bolt is in here. Time Bolt enters the battlefield tapped. Time Bolt doesn't untap during your untap step. If you would begin your turn while Time Bolt is tapped, you may skip that turn instead if you do untap Time Bolt, and then you can take an extra turn. And before you at me about that's such an unfair combo taking unlimited turns, you are the same person that would look me in the eye and say there's nothing wrong with a Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, and Tainted Path. Get out of here. Expedition Map. Sacrifice Expedition Map. Search your library for a land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle your library. And what land are we searching for? Bobby Maximus loves banned cards. You know it. Everybody's favorite, one of the greatest lands of all time, Tolarian Academy. Add a blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. And don't at me about Tolarian Academy either. It's the same thing as a Gaia's Cradle, in my opinion. If you're not going to ban Gaia's Cradle, you have to unban Tolarian Academy. In fact, get rid of the banned list completely. So, there is an awesome combo. The Mana Crypt and an invention. You really thought I was not going to put this in my deck? We have Sculpting Steel. Let's copy an artifact on the battlefield. Just all the Blight Steel Colossuses. This card right here, I'm going to move these. Super underrated. Pithing Needle. This card has won me so many games. You can shut down somebody's commander in a hurry. As Pithing Needle enters the battlefield, name a card. Activated abilities as sources of the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So someone has a Jan Jansen, takes care of that problem. Shout out to Ben Bateman, who knows the pain of this card right here. Cloudstone Curio. Whenever a non-artifact permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you may return another permanent you control that shares a permanent type with it to its owner's hand. Another way to blink Urza. The Jeweled Lotus. The Chrome Mox. Again, the 0-drop artifacts. We have a Mox Amber. I told you I had a lot of 0-drops in here. You need them in Urza. We're going to ramp up quick. Add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control. Do we have any more 0-drops in here? Oh, we do. The Lion's Eye Diamond. Sacrifice it, discard your hand, add 3 mana of any one color to your pool. Play this ability as a mana source. We have a Mox Diamond. See that smile? Love this card. When Mox Diamond comes into play, choose and discard a card, or sacrifice Mox Diamond, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Play this ability as a mana source. Now, I'm trying to think, do we have any other 0-drop artifacts? And it turns out we do. We do. We have. You know what it is? You know. This deck's worth tens of thousands of dollars. Oh. And yes, it's not slabbed. And yes, I put it in my deck. And yes, it's real. That is an unlimited Black Lotus. Love it. I have a Black Lotus. You know how excited I am to say that. But adds 3 mana. You know what the Black Lotus does. Incredible. The Lightning Greaves. Got to protect Urza. The Mana Bolt, a great 1-drop artifact. The Winter Orb. This is massive. As long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than 1 land during their untap step. So you pair that with Urza, you can freeze players right out. Game ender. That's on the board with Urza. You win the game, okay? There's another one you can use, Static Orb. I don't have it in this deck, but I am going to buy the Inventions one and put it in. So just keep that in mind. Commander's Plate. Let's protect Urza. And in a single color deck, the Commander's Plate is massive. We have the Simulacrum Synthesizer. Whenever another artifact with mana value 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, create a 0/0 colorless artifact construct token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. It's a low casting cost artifact, and it's going to get me more of those tokens. It is absolutely awesome. The Unwinding Clock. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. Massive. The Grim Monolith. Absolute massive card. And the final one to show you is the Isochron Scepter. You want to talk about mana? Let me get the instant that I most love to pair this with. Dramatic Reversal. Unreal. All right, so there we go. There is the Isochron Scepter. Before we go on to instants and sorceries, let's talk about the enchantments. We got Rhystic Study. I love oppressive cards. Copy Artifact, another great card. Select any artifact in play. This enchantment acts as a duplicate of that artifact. It's affected by cards that affect either enchantment or artifacts. This copy remains even if the original artifact is destroyed. All right, an Unstoppable Plan. At the beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. I actually love Ether Drift. Don't at me about it. It's a great set. Now, let's talk about our sorceries and instants. We got the Dramatic Reversal. We got some great counters in this. We got a Swan Song, all right? Counter target enchantment, instant or sorcery spells. Controller puts a 2/2 bluebird creature token onto the battlefield. It has flying. Gifts Ungiven. Thank you for unbanning this. It should have never been banned. Intuition is legal. This should be legal. Switch your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand and shuffle. Force of Will. In a blue deck. Stellar. Mana Drain. One of the greatest commons of all time. Not commons. What am I saying? Bobby, you're getting too excited. Slow down. Yes, I'm talking to myself in third person. I am pumped. Can you tell? Mana Drain, one of the greatest counter spells of all time, if not the greatest counter spell of all time. I think it's between Force of Will and Mana Drain. Let me know in the comments what you think. Force of Negation, all right? Incredible counter spell. We have Fierce Guardianship, another great counter spell. We have Cyclonic Rift. If you play blue, you need a Cyclonic Rift. And by the way, people hate Cyclonic Rift. Again, an argument. If this is legal, everything on the ban list should be legal. We have, speaking of banned cards, Tinker. Let's go find some artifacts. Free Tinker. I've got like 30 of these waiting to go locked and loaded for when the banned list is done. I said it here first. The banned list will one day be a thing of the past. But at the time you play Tinker, sacrifice an artifact, switch your library for an artifact card, put that artifact into play. Similar to Tinker, but not as strong. We have Fabricator, right? Get an artifact card, put it into your hand. Another great artifact tutor, the Whir of Invention, and super powerful in this deck because we're going to pretty much have unlimited mana. We have a Time Spiral. Now, I'm actually considering taking this out. I put it in because it's one of my favorite cards and it's valuable, and you can pair it with a certain Planeswalker to really punish people, but I don't know. It's got high casting costs. I think there's some 0-drop artifacts that might do better, but I love the card. Remove Time Spiral from the game. Each player shuffles his or her graveyard and hand into his or her library, then draws 7 cards. You untap up to 6 lands. Mystical Tutor. And what are we going to get with the Mystical Tutor? Oh my God, I'm so excited. The Time Walk. Take an extra turn after this one. Bobby, this deck is insane, ridiculous, unfair, oppressive, all the things I love. Now, obviously, we have a bunch of basic lands and some of my favorite ones. These Phyrexian Oil Slicks. I wish I would have bought a lot more of these. The Dragon's Eye, the Kamigawa ones. Oh my gosh, beautiful lands. And I'm just cycling through these. I got a bunch of them. But you're not here to see the basic lands. You are here to see the big boy lands. And we already went over the Tolarian Academy. Yes, I love the Tolarian Academy. The Academy Ruins. Add 1 mana to your mana pool. Put target artifact from your graveyard on top of your library. The War Room. Great card if there's only one color identity in your commander. Pay light equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity. Draw a card. Card draws everything. The Inventor's Fair. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. It doesn't come in tap, so at very least it's colorless mana. And if you sacrifice it, search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. Command Beacon. Sacrifice Command Beacon, put your commander into your hand from the command zone. Great to avoid that commander tax. The City of Traders. 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. Massive. Speaking of that, Ancient Tomb, one of the best lands, if not the best commander land of all time for any commander deck, right? Guy's Cradle, Tolarian Academy, but this will go in any deck. Speaking of great lands, and it had to go in here, Urza's Saga. Urza's Saga gains tap it, add a mana. The second part of it, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Again, massive ability, mirrors the commander. And the final one, search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Urza's Tower, Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Mine, so a way to get a bunch of colorless mana and extra colorless mana. But we're not done with Urza's yet. We have this Urza's Workshop, Metalcraft, add a mana for each Urza's land you control, so that is massive. We have Urza's Cave. Let's go get ourselves the Tolarian Academy. We have Otawara, Soaring City. This and Besiju. Obviously, Besiju's not in here, it's green, but these are 2 of the greatest lands of all time from Kamigawa. Channel, discard Otawara, return target artifact creature or enchantment or planeswalker to its owner's hand. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. And then look at this. When I said $10,000, I wasn't lying. The Library of Alexandria. Tap to add 1 colorless mana and calm down. These are double sleeved. I used to not have them double sleeved. Now I do. But I got yelled at enough by people online that I had to. Tap to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool or draw a card from your library. You may use the card drawing ability only if you have exactly 7 cards in your hand. Urza. Insane deck. Now, I promised you a little deck tech, so, okay. How would I change this? Right now, we have 14 game changers. That's not going anywhere. This is like a bracket 4 optimized, but it's not CEDH. Why is it not CEDH? You might be asking. The total mana value of the deck is 172. It's going to move in. There's too many win conditions. It's going to move too slow for CEDH. If I really wanted to make this CEDH, I would actually get rid of not almost, all the creatures. I would only play with a Hullbreaker Horror, and I would load this with every 0 drop in the game, just to be clear. So the mana value is 172 right now in this deck. That's pretty low, but the lower I can get it, the more competitive it's going to be. So if I was going to make some changes to this deck, and I'm actually really considering making changes, I need more 0 drops. Obvious choice, Phyrexian Walker. It's a 0/3, but it's a 0 drop artifact, a way to ramp a lot quicker. I might consider a Mishra's Bauble. I might consider, and it's not the greatest one for this deck, but it is a 0 drop, a Zurin Orb. I might consider an Ever-Flowing Chalice, an Ornithopter, all 0 drop artifacts. Now, I'm going to have to get rid of some stuff for this, and it starts to affect the synergy with cards like, where is it? It is the Simulacrum Synthesizer, because to make that work, to create that 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with, by the way, I'm reading off my side computer. And did I mention the deck list is on Moxfield? You can go check it out. Unfortunately, Moxfield doesn't even register the price of a couple of cards on here. So the deck value is a little low on Moxfield, but again, look at it. It doesn't register the price of my Time Walk. It doesn't register the price of my Black Lotus. It doesn't represent the price of my Time Vault either. But I digress. All right. I just wish that number was higher. I'm a little bit salty over it. Anyway, I need some artifacts that cost 3 or greater to take advantage of that. So I don't know if I would take those out, but it's certainly a possibility. Paradox Engine, another illegal card, but a great card in the Urza deck. The Deadeye Navigator, a great way to blink Urza back and forth. I'm probably going to put this Fabricate in to replace the Fabricate I have because I love Sonic the Hedgehog. More people need to play Marvin Murderous Mimic. Great card, especially because the activated abilities of creatures, you can copy them. Imagine how that works in this deck. The most oppressive Planeswalker ever. My argument again against the ban list. If this is legal, how is everything on the ban list not legal? The Howling Mine is great. At the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. Unreal. You're drawing all the cards nobody else is because of Urza's ability. Memnarch. You want to talk about what to do with your unlimited mana? Because you can do these activated abilities as much as you want. You can just steal everything on the board. Literally everything. This is a game ender. This is actually a massive oversight on my part that this is not in this deck. Then we have Karn, Scion of Urza, and we have another just oppressive card, Harbinger of the Seas. So these are the cards I'm considering adding. I'm going to make some changes for sure. I'm going to take out the Cyberdrive Awakener. I love it, but Memnarch's got to go in. That's a massive oversight. I want to add some of these 0/0s. Maybe we take out a Platinum Angel, although I'm kind of attached to that card. Maybe a Platinum Imperium. Maybe we take out Sakashima, but I like the idea of being able to copy the Blightsteel or copy Urza. One of the hardest things in Magic the Gathering Commander is cutting your friends. Like, that gets massively hard, but I would love to get the mana value of this deck down to around 150. I'm actually going to take out Time Spiral. I'll tell you that right now. I think it's more useful in some of my graveyard decks. But again, I talked about pairing it with an oppressive Planeswalker. I pair it with Narset. That's monstrous. I want to just show you this for a second. You get lots extra today, but let's look at Time Spiral, right? Remove Time Spiral from the game. Each player shuffles his or her graveyard and hand into their library. But look, each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. This is going to crush people, right? People use these with wheel effects too. They are great. So that is why there is a deck. Listen, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed talking to you about it. I'm probably going to do some deck tech on this after, so stay tuned. By the time you watch this video, obviously, at the time I'm recording, the deck list is the deck list. Oh, here's another card I could put in. The Swiftfoot Boots. That could definitely be an option, but by the time you watch this video, and this is like really part of the channel, I said this all the time, the deck list might change. I am always tinkering with my decks. Yes, I work out a lot. Yes, I fight a lot. I fought in the UFC. But when I'm really wanted to have some fun, I do deck tech. I might change this deck right after this video. I might change it tonight. I might change it tomorrow night. Literally every single day of my life, I do some form of deck tech. So the deck list for this deck will be in the show notes, all right? But when you check it, if there's some minor differences, that's why I showed you all these extra cards right here. Yeah, it might change a little bit, but here's the other thing. The reason I wanted to show you the additional cards. I don't believe in the banned list, but maybe you like it, and that's okay. So maybe you take out the Hull Breacher Horror, not the Hull Breacher Horror. How many banned cards do I have in here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 banned cards. So you want to fix that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's your options. If you like the banned list, then that's okay. Listen, to each their own. I don't like the banned list. I'm really passionate about it, but I don't judge. If you don't like the banned list, you can take out your Hull Breacher. You can take out your Black Lotus. You can take out your Jeweled Lotus. You can take your Mana Crypt, and you've got a bunch of great replacements here. So something for everybody. One favor that I ask. Share the channel. Share my passion. And please, for me, if you love my content, put in the show notes cards I could add. Cards like the Static Orb, all right? Maybe a card like the Swiftfoot Boots, although I already talked about it. But I don't know every card. I mean, I do, but I forget about them. And it's just a lot going on with deck building. And by the way, my decks are built from real 100% cards, so there's some limitations, right? Obviously, there's more cards I would like to... I had to pull an Ornithopter from another deck to put it in here, so I got to go get a new one, and luckily it's common and blah, 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 blah. But put some cards. What would you add to this Urza deck? Put it in the comments, because I might make a change. There's so many amazing people who watch this series and help me on a day-to-day basis. So thank you. Honestly, just this deck, it makes me want to cry like joy. I love it. And genuinely, thank you for sharing this with me. This one you're here. This is my favorite Commander deck. This is the Bobby Maximus deck. I bring it to the cons with me. This episode meant a lot to me. Thank you.